My name is Cole Taylor, and this is role-playing assignment number 2. So the first case is with Spear One Productions, and some of the big things for them were positioning objectives, partnerships, and signage. Positioning objectives, they wanted to make sure that they had a good market segment, and partnerships, they wanted repeat customers and real personal relationships that make people feel fulfilled and want to come back. And moving into the second part of issues that you may have communicating and kind of getting from here to here and everybody feeling like they're on the same page. They talked a lot about signage, and from an outside perspective, signage makes me think of big billboards or road signs, things like that, that like a legitimate sign. But their expression was more to that of anything that uses the logo of the company, such as napkins, any promotional item, and that's a lot more broad product margin. And expressing that to the consumer will do leaps and bounds to help them out. They also had a little bit of a habit of looking down and avoiding eye contact, kind of wandering eye. And that doesn't instill a lot of confidence in a consumer. It's going to make them feel like they're withholding information, that they're not completely confident in their product, that they're just not all there, and that's going to scare people off. And to deal with some of these things and techniques to get through to them and to understand what they're trying to say, the best thing that we can do is ask questions. Ask about those specific goals and ask them to clarify things that you may not understand, because odds are somebody else in the room and somebody else that they're going to talk to at some other point is going to have the same question. And it's going to help you to ask that question, and it'll help them figure out that maybe they need to change the way that they speak about things with their consumers. For the next one, the real estate company, they talked very expressively about site plans and selections, geodemographics, and traffic patterns. And while all those things are very important, I would assume, and they feel strongly about, outside looking in, it's hard to understand what some of that means. And that's okay. I mean, it's very technical terms, it's jargon, and I'm sure that they use those terms every day and are very comfortable with them, but someone who doesn't live in that world and work in that environment is not going to understand what geodemographics means. They're not going to feel comfortable talking about site plans and how to select the best options. So, you have to bridge that gap, break it down into smaller bites, make it more understandable. Take big ideas and make them small, and you just have to make sure that the customer feels comfortable. Because if you use too much jargon, you're too over aggressive, they're going to feel like they're a target, like they're alienated or not qualified to be there, and it's just going to put a bad vibe in the room and make them feel like you're not the one for them. And I think that this company kind of had an issue with that. It's a very big, very confident, very bold company, and they showed that. They're in your face and gung-ho and very proud, and I can appreciate that. That doesn't necessarily bother me, but it's going to upset some people. Some people want to feel like they're equal partners, like it's not someone big, proud, fighting for what they believe in and pushing it down your throat. I think that they can change that pretty easily, though. The last case was over the paper products manufacturing, and it's another sort of the same issue. Their most important things that they talked about, in my opinion, were polystyrene foam, municipal solid waste, and biodegradation. Lots of jargon, lots of very industry-specific talk. And to deal with that, I think they just need to break it down, like I was saying, for this company. Use broad terms. Instead of polystyrene foam, just say foam, or foam cups. And municipal solid waste can just be non-liquid waste, or breaking it down into things like that, just getting the big idea. And biodegradation, I think a lot of people have an understanding of what that means, at least now, but still doesn't hurt to bring that down a level and make it more understandable and more potable. You can talk more about how it's not the lifespan, it's not biodegradation, it's once this product is thrown away or is put into a landfill, it's going to take a certain amount of time to fully break down and be gone. So, how long is that? That's the important thing, is breaking it down into understanding what this word means, what this idea is, not just this most simple, concise way to say it. Because it may rub people wrong if you just blow past some idea that was important to them, but they didn't understand. And then consumers may have a little bit of an issue with asking questions and not feeling confident. And the best thing that we can do to help with that is to ask questions. Because the more questions we ask, the more involved we are in this process, the better it's going to be for the next person down the line. Because it'll get that positive interaction and that understanding of, well, they were confused here, they had these questions, how can we change it? How can we do better? Because at the end of the day, if you're using a ton of jargon, using very specific terms and blowing over big ideas just because you're comfortable with them, you're going to make a customer feel unwelcome. You're going to make them feel like they're not the smartest one in the room, like they're not worthy. And that's how you lose relationships very quickly. All you can do is avoid that to the best of your ability. All right. That's all I have.